the bells were tolling, and our hearts sang on. Was it the spell?
This is Chris Kay for BFBS in Catterick, Garrison. A group of Army wives have been getting a history lesson from the Green Howards Museum. The ladies have been exploring the experiences of military spouses over the last 150 years. Virginia Arrowsmith is the Community Liaison Officer for the museum.
Women have had an important role supporting troops over many years, so this is a chance for women to tell their stories and to respond creatively to the historic collections that I brought along with me from the museum.
The session
Chimes ring sweet again. I'll be seeing you in all the
Meanwhile, there was the opportunity to get hands-on with practical activities.
old familiar places that
I've been learning to do embroidery and ration book cookery, so substituting ingredients for things that you wouldn't normally have thought of. Well, we made some chocolate truffles.
And how was it?
Delicious.
Other recipes, however, were a little stranger.
We made chocolate mash as well because back then they had to kind of use what ingredients they had.
And to give the event some authenticity, there was some wartime singing in full costume.
and the country found them ready at the stirring call for men.
Music, fashion and technology may have changed, but the emotional response to having loved ones deployed remains the same.
But what really connected to me was when the husbands, they were away, and I got stuff to my dear wife, and I'm thinking of you. There were terrible, terrible things happening to them, but they were still keeping the love in the heart for their wives, and that I can connect to.
I've really enjoyed doing lots of different activities. I enjoyed making the truffles, the chocolates, and trying my hand at embroidery. I'm not very good because I don't have the patience, but I gave it a go. And I really found looking through some of the stuff that Virginia brought with her really interesting, like this mask. And the fact that it was made of, it's got asbestos in it, and this was a child's mask, and I can't picture trying to put it on one of my children.
And I've really enjoyed working, doing the hands-on activities and looking at the other exhibits that have been brought to show us. I particularly like this scarf. It has a map of France and the areas where the men were fighting on it, and this was distributed I think it was from the Manchester newspaper, and what I love about it is, being an army wife, we have briefings and welfare put in place for when our husbands go away on tour to help us understand the conditions that they're living in and the places that they're going, and that's really informative, and it helps us to keep a bond with our husbands and just to know what they're doing when they're away. And there are so many similarities between what wives back then went through and what we go through now.
I really enjoyed today's session, and the thing I found really interesting were the cards that were sent by the husbands to their wives. And this one's really sweet, saying, "Dorothy, just hoping to find you quite well, as it leaves me at present. By the time you get this, I shall be in the trenches. Love from Albert."
I really enjoyed it and I wanted to learn more. I picked these letters from a soldier. I thought it was quite moving reading some of the things that he wrote. I quite liked what Jeannie picked as well, and I quite liked just hearing what it was like for wives too, how they lived back then.
I found it absolutely fascinating. I also too loved the letters that the Lieutenant Kep had wrote to his family. It was very sad at the end because unfortunately he went missing in action, but they found his body and everything. I loved this love heart because it's something I would have loved to have received from my husband if he was in war, World War I. And just to think of all the dedication that man's put into this. 9th of September 1916,
Dear Sir, my wife and I wish to thank you for your kind sympathy in the death of our dear son. We received a telegram from the War Office on Saturday afternoon saying that he was missing. We hoped that his brave young life might have been spared. My wife and I were so proud of our big boy, strong in body and vigorous in mind and soul. We were looking forward to his taking a notable place in his professional career and private life. But this cruel war has crushed our fond hopes. I suppose there is no prospect of knowing whether there was a burial given and where. Somewhere in France is a sadly vague resting place. If we could learn where he lies, we might be able to find some peace to visit what would be to us a very sacred spot. Again, thanking you and your colleagues for your message of condolences. Yours sincerely, Ernest H. Kemp.